and welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. My name is Hen and this is Crafting from the Broom Closet. And today we're going Easter. It's not far away, so I thought I'd go for a little Easter project. I got this idea for another channel and at the moment I can't remember the name of it, but I will link their original video in the description. So what we're going to do, we're going to use some wire, some washi tape, some napkins, possibly some tissue and some glue. So I'm using what was the remnants of my fabric glue that had gone a bit dry. I've watered it down to make it thin. You can use watered down PVA glue or Mod Podge for this project. And what we're going to do, I just had this wire lying around the house. So that's why I'm using it. And I'm using the fabric tape to coat it. Not fabric tape, the washi tape to coat it. You can buy a paper coated wire, so you wouldn't have to go through this step if you bought that. But if you happen to have some, this is, what do you call it? Florist wire. I've got it in weird colours, I know. If you happen to have some florist wire that's not coated, get some cheap washi tape and coat it yourself, which is what I'm going to do now. So let's move everything over to one side for a moment. You can see my lovely messy mat because I craft on it. I don't look after it, but hey ho. So what we're going to do is we're going to wrap the washi tape. I just picked up some cheap stuff. It's quite Eastery colours, so it just comes in handy that it's Eastery colours. But it doesn't really matter what colour you use. So start at the top of one end of the wire, and you're just going to wrap it around. I'm just going to fold that onto itself for the moment, and then wrap it around. It doesn't have to be uniform. You just want to wrap the whole wire. Like so. All the way down. And what we're going to do is make some Easter egg shaped decorations. It just needs that the paper is wrapped around the wire to give something for the new paper to adhere to, and to give some shape and form to the wire, make it more robust. I think that's a good phrase for it. And yeah, it's all patchy and jumpy, but once I finish rolling it, I'll show you. We can make it look a little bit more uniform. It just needs to wrap and cover the metal. And it will give you a bit more, like I said, a bit more, it makes it much thicker than if it's just the wire. So it gives it more form. So we'll wrap that around. Probably can get a couple out of one of these. Depending on what size you're going for. But I think we'll have a play about. I need to have a look at my napkins and see what areas I want to make the egg shape around. Because none of my napkins are actually spring napkins. I've got the butterflies. And obviously butterflies will start appearing soon, hopefully. But one of the napkins that I'm looking at using is from Chinese New Year. It's a horse, but it's got some lovely patterns on the horse. And the other one is very autumn, but it's got some lovely flowers on it. Don't necessarily want the pumpkins in it, but the flowers are gorgeous. Right, so once you've wrapped it all the way around, just squish the white, just squish the paper to make it more even and not so bulky in places where it's sticking out like that. Just squish it in. See? It makes it more uniform. All the way along to make it more uniform. Doesn't have to be perfect. If you buy the paper wrapped wire, it won't be neat and perfect anyway. So this is just a way of using up the washi tape that you're not going to use. I mean, I don't have a big deal of washi tape, but it is what it is. Right, so if I wanted to, for example, use this horse napkin, I would then try and figure out what area I wanted to use. So to just get the flowers in, it's going to be a small egg. I don't think I want it that small. So I might have to make it, well, can I make it look like it's purposely? I could go something like that. You can't necessarily tell it's a horse once you cut around. See, I don't hate that. But we'll play around. Right, let's start by forming the egg. So first of all, you want to twist it into a sort of circle shape and twist the two ends of the wire together, like so. I mean, it's more like a balloon shape. It's not the egg I want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten this end, like so, to make it more circular. Like so. And then I can then bring this up to make it more egg-shaped. So it no longer looks like a balloon, it looks like an egg. And you can either leave the stem on like that, so you can put it into like flower arrangements and things, or you can cut that off and we can make it into a tag. But that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm going to make a few more of them up and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've made a few up, only 4 for now. And as you can see, I've done one of them in more of a orangey reddy colour, and I just think it will work better with the red on the napkin of that one. The others are still in the same. So that's the reddy orangey one I've used, the tape I've used. And this is the bluey purpley goldy one I've used on the others. Okay. Really doesn't matter, because you're wrapping it around, you can barely see what it looks like anyway. So, next thing I want to do, move them out of the way, I'm going to need to put something non-stick underneath without ruining my mat. So I've just got this, it's an old postal bag that I've had lying around for many years. You can use greaseproof paper. You can use your old Amazon gift bags or bags that you get stuff in, you know, the postal bags that come in. Just remove any paper labels. Cereal liners, anything like that. So what we're now going to do, one at a time, is we're going to choose what napkin we're going to use or tissue paper we're going to use and find out where we're going to use it. So let's start with this one, the horse one, which I think is going to be the most difficult. So this one, I've tried to find out if it's double A and it doesn't seem to come apart. Oh, yes, it does. Ignore me. There we go. You need to peel off the back layer, okay, of whatever napkin you're doing. This one's quite tough. That's why I had trouble finding it, getting it to come apart. So you just want one layer thin, one layer thick even. So don't throw this away. You can use this. In fact, I could use that as another napkin, because if you look, there's a slight print on it. So I might even use that on a different one. We'll see. So now I want to figure out where I want the egg to lie, so it doesn't look like a horse anymore. So I think I might go for that, because once I've cut the horse out, you won't notice that's a horse. That makes sense? Yeah. So what I need to do first of all, I actually need to put some of the glue onto my backing, where I'm going to lay it, where I'm going to put it down. Put it down. So I want to do a coating of the glue, just a thin coating of where the egg is going to be. Like so. This is why you need your plastic to do it onto. You can't just put it on your mat. I'm going to cut out one of these squares from this napkin because I don't need the whole napkin. Bear with me. If I can find my scissors. If not, I'll just tear it. Tear it gently so I don't ruin it. Come on. Cooperate. I will need my scissors later, but I think I've left them in the other room. Because all I can see here is my plastic scissors, and I do not want to use them. So I have to go and get the other scissors in a bit. So out of each napkin, you can get at least 4 of these eggs. She says. Well, I might be able to if I didn't tear it so wonky. There you go. Sorry, I've torn it now. So I know that the top of the egg is going to be there. So I'm going to lay the napkin down this way. Smooth it out. You can see where the glue is now. And then we lay the egg shape on top, or where we want it to be. Oh, I've done this the wrong way up. Ignore me. I want it facing down. You can't see what I'm doing. I want it facing down. So I might need to put some more glue on there. Let me bear with me a second. Luckily, I want glue on both sides, but at the moment, I just want it facing down, because that's going to be the outside. That's the bit that's going to be facing the outside. I just made a mistake. I just said I can make 4 out of this. I can't. I can make 2 out of the napkin, because I'm going to pop that down. The next step would be to put glue on this side. But I've already glued this side accidentally. But I'm going to put glue all around the actual egg. Let me turn you up so you go, because it's not lying flat. Once I get all the layers on it, it'll be flat. It's fine. It's just not lying flat at the moment. So I want to glue all over around the egg and all around this area here, which I've already done because I accidentally put it the wrong way up. Like so. So make sure all this egg bit is covered in glue. And then, once we've done that, oh, stay still. We're going to take the next layer, and I'm going to try and line it up for how it is on the other side, but don't worry if it's not. In fact, it won't be. Oh, I need to come down a bit. I want that to line up. Oh, come on. Stop playing with me. Stop playing. Be nice. Okay, like so. And then we put another layer of the glue all over. So we're covering all of the middle and we're brushing it down over the metal frame and around the edges. Just make sure you cover every bit of the napkin that's within inside the egg with glue. This looks like it's going to come out wrinkly because I just didn't get it to go right. But we'll see what happens. And then we want to, like I said, we're going round the edge of the egg and making sure all of the wire is covered in glue and the egg edge is covered in glue as well. Like so. Let's do another one. I'm going to turn my sticky sheet around. I'll do one here. Oh, sticky fingers. I'm going to do the butterflies. This is probably the easiest one for me because there's nothing to worry about lining up. So separate the back from the front. If you struggle to get it to separate, a bit of tape, or in my case, a bit of glue on your fingers will help. So I'm going to gently tear this. What you can do is you can do it like this. So you sandwich it in between rather than cut it. So like that and like that. Which is probably what I'll do with this one. So again, we need to get the glued surface on here. So we're gluing onto there, like so. Sounds like I've got a fire engine or an ambulance going past at the moment. Sorry about that. So as long as you're, yeah, that's plenty. Then put your napkin over there. Well, cover this in glue. Ambulance. I live on the main route to the hospital, so it's not surprising you'll hear ambulances now and again. Hopefully it's not too loud. I'm just covering it for a moment. I'm going to then stick this in place and see where I need more. Yeah. Okay. Make sure all of it's covered inside the egg, over the wire, and just around the edge, like so. So this one now, remember, face down, and this one will be face up. And I'm just going to tear that around that post, because otherwise it's not going to work. It's one part I didn't think about. There we go. Put that back. Go back. Thank you. And then we'll fold that over there. Yay. Now, I've just realised my butterflies are going to be upside down if I do it this way. Do I mind that? I think I do. So I'm going to tear it and relayer it, because otherwise I'm going to have upside down butterflies. I'm not sure I want that. So my idea of folding it over won't work. I've got really sticky fingers now, so it's making this really hard to tear. There we go. That's fine. So now let's lay it so it's the right way up. Felt like there was another layer for a moment then, but I don't think there is. Oh, there is. Oh, sugar. Okay, remove that layer. Should be fine on the other one, but you really do only want it one layer. These were 3-ply. Oops. Or did I just not take the layer off? I might not have just taken the layer off. It should be fine, because it is quite thin tissue. But we'll see. We'll see at the end. Because ideally you want them thin enough to be translucent. Which is what happened when I tested it out before. What you will find though, because it's translucent, you will see whatever the pattern is on the other side through it. So I'm not sure how this is going to look until it's dry, because obviously I can't really align them up perfectly. But I think with the butterflies it'll be fine, and hopefully with the horse it'll be fine too. Then make sure you've got glue all the way around the edge, all around the middle, and all over the wire. Push it down like so. So you want the layers sticking to each other. Oh, sticky fingers. Right, let's try one more. So these are all the napkins. Oh, actually, there'll be 2 more because I want to try it with the tissue paper, don't I? So this one, like I said, this is an autumn napkin. It's very pretty. But it has got some lovely flowers on it, so I want to try and incorporate the flowers. Yeah, this is already half come off on the backing. Let me just double check there isn't a second layer like there was on the don't think so. What is there? Oh. No, it doesn't seem to be a second layer. So really what I want to capture on this one is the flowers. So, where's my eggs? There we go. So if I was to do that on one side, and I could go for the plain on the back, I could do that. That's pretty. That's very pretty, actually. And then if I did that, getting a little bit of that green in, but nothing that makes it obvious that it's a pumpkin, I could then do another one with that part. So I could have both. Like so. And then I could have this or this on the background. What should let's go for, should we go for all the way down here? So I'm getting mostly flowers, a little bit of that green in. Down. So I'll go there. I'm going to go for that. Yeah? And then hopefully I'll be able to do another one with that. I think that's good. So obviously in this one I won't be able to cut it out. Won't be able to cut it in half, in quarters. So let me get my scissors, because I will need to cut it somehow. So hopefully that's right. Yep, that'll be fine. So now I'm going to glue this one down on this side. It feels quite thick, this one. That's why I'm curious to whether it has got another layer. It's not coming apart if it has. This is where I'll stick it down, it'll come apart. No more luck. So let's put some glue up here. Like so. Face down onto the plastic. Right. Put my egg shape in place. Like so. Glue all the way around the middle. Make sure there's enough glue all over the wire. Completely coat it in glue. Like so. Just around the edges as well, make sure they're coated. And then we'll put the other layer on top. Let's see if I can get... I don't think that's going to be big enough. I'll try it. But I don't think it's going to be... No, it's not. Keep that for collaging. This, however, should be plenty big enough. So this one, see, I'm just putting the spotty side on the other side. Like so. I'll glue that down. Making sure it's all covered. So I'm dabbing it so it sort of pushes it in. Then we'll smooth it out a bit. Try and get out all the air bubbles. And I'll do the last one with the tissue paper, just so you can see, because it would do it with tissue paper too. Getting cramp because I'm sitting on my feet. The bad habit I have. If you just use tissue paper, you can print on it, you can add colours to it if you want, or you can just leave it plain. So, yeah, it's more than enough. I'm going to tear it in half, tear it into two pieces, just because it makes it much easier. But I don't need to, because I can just fold it over. I'm going to tear it. So, first one down. Should have plenty of room there, yeah. Pop you down. Okay, pop my egg down. Make sure it's fully covered in glue both sides. Like so. Oh, missing it. Ooh, don't need that much glue. Okay, looks good to me. Next layer on, like so. Push it down. There we go. And then we'll put another layer of glue on top. Making sure it's all on the wire and around the edges and covering the middle. There we go. So now we just need to leave that to dry and come back in a couple of hours. Oh, you can't see it anymore. Come back in a couple of hours and see how they look. And then we can go on to the next stage. See you soon. I'm back. It's actually the next day. My camera, for some reason, glitched when I was recording, finishing off from the other day. So I had to do some more for you. But these are the ones I made. They still got to be completed. I used a slightly different method with these because I noticed when I was trimming off the bottoms, we ended up having some spiky bits, sharp bits. I had to end up putting more paper over them. I think you can see it more on this one than you can on the others. So you can see why I put more paper over. Trying to not have the spiky bits. So I went for more of a different method with these ones that I've done here. These are not complete. I'm going to complete them off for you today. But don't they look pretty? Yeah. So that's what they look like. I've done. You look, they're shiny, really shiny on one side. Not so shiny on the other side. And this is with me trying to make them more shiny on the other side. I'll explain to you in a minute. See, that one looks quite matte, but on that side. Oh no, it's, hang on. Getting the light to reflect off it. One side's more matte than the other. It's not so noticeable on this one. I think this is the shinier side. This one is obviously the shinier side. And then that side is a bit more matte. There's shiny splotches on this side. This one is pretty shiny on both sides. But that's because I was able to manipulate it properly. But anyway, let's move on to the ones that I've still got waiting to be pulled off of the plastic here. So when you remove them from plastic, pull the plastic away from the tissue rather than the tissue away from the plastic. Like so. I'll do all of them at the same time. Like so. Well, that one came off really easy. I didn't need to worry about it. But as you can see this side is really shiny compared to that side is really matte. Shiny, matte. Shiny and matte. Now what I did with the other ones is I put more glue down and I put them back on the other way up and pushed it down into the glue and let it dry again. And it gave me a little bit of a sheen, but it didn't catch it all. You can see on this one, it's caught really the raised bits. This one's quite crinkly, but it didn't get into the in-depths. Whereas on the red one, I managed to get it a little bit. This is the really shiny side, and on that side, it's mostly shiny, but there are still some bits that didn't get it, particularly around the edge. And that's because when you put it down the other way up, this wire is raised, so you can't really get the paper to sit to the surface and stick everywhere on the surface as well. I suppose you could if you laid something on top of it, but then you'd probably end up having that rip the project. So, okay. So, let me show you what I did different with these ones to stop that issue there with the spiky bit. You can see where I put it quite thick over the edge of that one, and it just ruins the effect. So what I did is, instead of wrapping and doing this, I made the hoop and I twisted it around like that, cut off the end of this, twisted it around, and then wrapped it. And that way the sharp edges are attached to the actual wire. They're not sticking out at the bottom. So that's how I did it. So I did it like that, formed the egg shape. This would obviously be taken off, and then wrapped it. And I think, hopefully, it will solve the problem of the spiky bits that I had with the other ones. So, but, you know, I was following someone else's tutorial, and it didn't work for me in the way I wanted it to. So now what we're going to do is we're going to trim off around the edge as close to this framework as possible without cutting into the framework, because otherwise you end up exposing the wire, which I actually did on, I think, the red one. Yeah, the red one. If you look closely, I cut in too close, and you can see the blue wire is exposed. Not sure what I'm going to do about that. We'll figure it out. So not all as close to the edge as possible without actually cutting into the wire, like so. Because I ended up trimming off the actual paper, wrapping around the tape, wrapping around it. Don't want to do that. Yay. There we go. I need to do trim a bit closer. So there we have the egg shape. How pretty is that? And as you look, it's translucent. So if you hang that up at a light source, you can see all the way through it. That one's pretty. That's from the these napkins. So it's this area here. This is also from them napkins. Let me just trim this one around so you can see exactly what I've got in frame. So if you look, with this one, I've used this part here of the napkin for the back. With that one, I used the backing of the napkin. So the bit you pulled off, this bit, I used the backing. I don't think it was this particular one, but yeah. So you're going to have two different looks. That one is really translucent. This one might not be as translucent, we'll see. I need to get a bit closer there. Oh, definitely need to get you closer. Right, let's get rid of the majority of it. Now I can go back in because I'm completely away from the edge there. Oh yeah, no, your paper is just a bit bulky for some reason. There we go. I can feel myself going too close there. I can feel myself cutting into the actual wire. Don't want to do that. Because the wire is thicker in some places than others, you will have bulky bits. So let's see how translucent this one is. Still pretty translucent, but completely different look to that one. See how translucent that one is compared to that. But pretty cool. That's just a natural light from a window coming through. So you can imagine hanging these in the window. They look quite pretty. And then let's do the butterflies. I'm just going to cut off the bulk of it to start off with so I can see better. Right, okay. I can see. I just had to come down closer to it. Oops, don't tear it. There we go. So these are the three that I've done where it's just one side face down. I'm going to leave them like that. I think they're just as pretty like that. And that one, there we go, holding up to the light. You can see how translucent it is. So next step now is I want to decorate the edges. You can use something like this, acrylic markers. You could use your ink pad and your Dauber. What I'm going to use is I picked up these cheap paint, what do they call them? Where did I put the packet? Paint sticks. They're like glue sticks, but we're painting them. And I'm going to use these, and I'm going to pick ones that work with the colours. So for this one, I'm possibly going to use green or pink. I might use the pink on this one. So as you see, it's like a glue stick. Rolls up like a glue stick, but it's paint. They're designed for kids. So I'm going to go just around the edge to define the edge, like so. Ooh. I can see that's a bit too far away there. Let me just trim that off a bit more. That should be fine. Yeah, should be fine. I'm going to go all the way around. It just gives that edge a bit of definition. We're looking for sort of vintage decoration, really. Oh. Okay, see where I've got a problem here? I'm going to dab a bit of glue into there and stick that back in place. There you go, like so. Simple as that. Once that dries, it should be fine. We've got a problem there, yeah. I may have cut these a little bit too close now. See, I should have left it as it was before I decided it was too close. I'll just pop them down. Right, I'm going to leave that there for a minute because I don't really want to go over the wet glue with the paint stick for now. So with this one, I think I'm going to go for the blue. Yeah, I think I'll go for the blue on this one. Just making sure everything's fine. Yeah. So I'm just going around the edge. So you can use your Dabo, you can use acrylic pen, you can use a marker pen, you can use paints, you can use whatever you want if you want to. You don't have to do it at all. And these are not perfectly shaped eggs. But that's going to need a bit of glue as well. It will just be where it didn't quite get enough glue on that surface. See how that makes a difference to having that edge? You can make it thicker if you wanted to, but I've just gone just round the edge like so. I'm going to get, where's the red one? With this red one, I'm going to go around it with gold, just because I think the gold will look really good against the red. These are metallic glue sticks, paint sticks. Let's have a look. I just noticed there's a blob of blue there. I don't want it on there. Come on. Yeah. So I'm hoping that when I go over the gold, I'll be able to hide that wire that's exposed. Let's see. Yeah, that's working. It's hiding that wire. Are these paint sticks great? No. Would I recommend them? No. But it's what I had handy. They are designed for children. In fact, the bits of the paint are coming off as I'm using it. It's not, not to my liking. But hey ho. But yeah, you can no longer see the blue exposed along that edge there. See? So, and then it's just got a bit of a gold edge to it. Right. Put the lids back on the glues, the paints even. Oh, I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do this one with the green. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's not that it's not fixed. It's just that it's not up to the edge. That's fine. But I don't want to go too close because I don't want to expose more wires. I'm just going to trim that little bit off there because that's definitely too far away. Makes my egg look pointy when my egg isn't pointy. That's better. There we go. I'm just going to go over it a little bit more, and I'm just trying to make sure I'm catching the wire, so it gives you a bit more of a bigger border. I'll probably do the same with the others. So I'm really rubbing it against the wire that's under there. So that gives a much bigger border. Border, not border. No, border, not border. Let me try one. I'm going to try this one with the acrylic marker pen. Give it a good shake. Just to see how it works. So I'm going to go around the edge of this one with the acrylic marker pen. Oh, hang on, I need to get it flowing first. There we go. So I'm just... Right, let me just put it down and do it. So I'm just going around the edge with the pen. So this is a silver one. I got the full set. It just happened to be the one that was next to me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way around the edge, and then I'm going to go and just colour over the wire. Have I not done it the right way up? No, I haven't. Let's do it the other way up, shall we? Where I can actually see the wire. There we go. I'm just colouring over the wire. I think I prefer a colour around the edge, because this isn't standing out a lot, and I'm getting acrylic ink all over my hands as I go around. But this is why we experiment, to see how it works, what works and what doesn't. Have a look how that looks in the light. So it's just giving it a little sparkle around the edge. Right, leave that. Put my lid on. Always put your lids on things that dry out. Unlike me, who forgets to put a lid on her glue sticks and ends up with a mess. Right, so the next thing we're going to do, we're going to attach some ribbons to hang them. So, I didn't have, oh, hang on, bring you down so you can see them. I didn't have any thin ribbons. But what I did have is lots of clothes that have hanging loops that I don't use. Please explain to me why they put hanging loops into a roll neck jumper. I don't understand it. Don't need it. So I went round and I've cut out hanging loops from items of clothing because I wanted thin ribbon. This actually came from a dress. Had massive hanging loops. I can get 2 hanging loops for these out of one of these. So that's what I did. I went round and went, okay, I don't need hanging loops in that. So I went for the ones with the really thin ribbons, because you get hanging loops in different thicknesses, but these are all thin ribbons. And I'm going to use them to make my hanging loops for these. But first we need to pierce a hole. If you've got a hole puncher that pierces little holes, use one of them. I don't. So I am going to use my awl. So I'm just going to poke a hole right near the top, near the wire. Gently push it through. Make a reasonable size hole that I can poke the ribbon through. You can use a hole punch, a normal hole punch, but it will make quite a big hole, so it depends if you want that. But a lot of crafty hole punch comes with different size hole punchings. That needs a bit of glue to dry, so I won't do that one quite yet. This has only happened because I didn't cover it in glue enough. Leave that one for a moment. That one should be fine. That's still a bit damp from where I glued it, but hopefully it should be fine. Yeah. So I'm pushing it all the way out the hole to make a reasonable size hole without it being too big. And then this one. Like so. And then what we could do is we can find a ribbon that we think works well with the ones we're doing. So I think I'm going to use the pink ribbon with these two. I've got a navy blue. If you look close, it's navy blue. It's not black. It looks quite dark. It's navy blue. Do they work with that? Possibly. Or I've got like a silver colour. I think I like the navy blue better. I don't know. Let's go with the silver because it's more springy. Now this one's quite long, so I can cut that in half, and I'll still have a decent sized loop. And that's what I think I'd do. Luckily, there's a little fold in it that's roughly the halfway point. I'm going to cut that one in half. Get off me. That's that done. And what I'll do is I'll use my awl again to poke that end of the ribbon through. Like so, gently. Try not to poke your fingers. And then we just tie it in a little knot at the top. And if you're worried about your ribbons fraying, get a lighter or a matchstick or a candle and just run the flame along the edge of that ribbon and it won't fray. So that's as simple as that. Make yourself a little loop and then it can be hung. It can be used as a tag. It can be used for anything. They are paper, so if you really wanted to, you could write on the back. I'd use something soft to write on the back, like a felt tip pen or something, because I don't think you want to put too much pressure on it. Oh, for some reason I cannot tie a knot today. Come on, cooperate. They both through? No. That's where the problem was. I'm trying to get both of them. I think it's because it's such a short length of string. Ribbon, even. String, ribbon. You could use string. It doesn't have to be ribbon. I just thought these would look nice. I could go rustic and use some garden twine. Right. Bring that up. And there you go. You have a nice little hanging. Nice. Make sure you can see it. Nice little hanging ornament. Or, as I said, tag that you can write on. Let's do the other ones that are ready to go. So, I'm not sure how much you saw because I wasn't looking at where my camera was pointing when I was doing it. So, I've made the hole there. I'm going to bring the end of the ribbon to that hole and use my awl to poke it through. Bring it over a bit. Should poke it through. There you go. Take it off the awl. Bring it up. knot. Come on, cooperate. Slide your knot up towards the end before you put it tight. There you go. Could they have been done with being a little bit longer? Yeah, possibly, but I think they'll do. Sorry about that. This one I can make, if I do them that small, they're too small. So I might as well just use the whole bit. So I can poke that through with the awl, she says. There we go. If you've got a pokey tool that's not so sharp, use that. So this one's going to be quite a long ribbon, but I don't need it as long, so I'll just bring the knot further down. In fact, do that. Bring the knot further down. Makes it easier to tie when it's that little bit longer. Then I can trim the ends off if I want to. Are you dry enough to deal with? Let's give it a go. With this one I'm going to use the red ribbon. Some people trim out their mess ups. I'm not going to. See, that's a long one again, so I'm going to cut it in half. Poke it through the hole, pull it out. And tie a knot. Slide the knot towards the end before pulling it tight. So there you go. Got a few more to finish off. But there are some Easter egg decorations. And then I've got a few more to finish off. I need to put the ribbon on these ones. Don't know what I'm going to do with this one. I'm not sure if I like it. I might print something on it. Haven't decided. And I've got a couple more somewhere else. I don't know where. No, I haven't. That's it. Ignore me. But yeah, so I just need to finish these ones off. And then that'll be all done. I hope you enjoyed watching me make a mess of myself and say words wrong and fix issues that I've discovered along the way. Needs a bit of glue there. Bye-bye for now. And see you again soon. And if I don't see you before Easter, happy Easter. Bye-bye for now.